Welcome back to Jersey Matters. We continue our conversation with Congressman Chris Smith from New Jersey's 4th Congressional District. I cut you off for time, and I apologize for that, because you were making a point that this Alzheimer's forum was interrupted by protesters.
Yeah, the leader of a group that is very much against me, and it's a free country. Anybody can be against anybody. That's what democracy is all about. But they crossed the line. At this Alzheimer's meeting, this group came in, and the way they self-described the barging in on this important meeting about legislation on Alzheimer's, again, I'm the leader. I'm the co-chairman of the caucus. I formed it. It was an ambush. That's not what dialogue, that's not what respecting other people's opinions is all about. I believe no matter what the differences are on opinions, and I respect everyone's opinion, but as soon as you cross the line and start using obscene words, start calling it an ambush, you lose my interest, and I think most people would agree.
Two quick questions on that.
Yes.
Do you believe that these protesters that are coming to town halls across the country are Democratic operatives? Do you believe they're being paid as the Trump administration has claimed?
Great question. I think some of the organizers are. They have payroll. They have people who help organize these things. I think the average person who shows up is probably just someone who's part of this network and are not paid. But I think it bears more scrutiny and more investigation to know how much money is being expended. It is an orchestrated effort. But again, in a free country, that's okay. You can have orchestrated opposition to anything. But they cross the line with the hate speech. And that's what this is. It's hate speech.
And just to clarify, before, I know you brought a bill in and I want to get to that, but just to clarify, you went to law enforcement with some things that they considered threats. Did they advise you not to have a town hall?
They never said anything one way or the other. They said, be very cautious, make sure you have law enforcement there, because it quickly could spill over to violence. But what they said, some of the people who are demanding these town hall meetings need to be put on. One of them, we got a cease and desist order. He came into my office, yelled at my all-female staff in Freehold, unbelievably effective women who just solve problems for individuals. You come in and talk to my staff, we're all ears, we want to help you. And the way they were treated, first he called them words I can't say on TV, slammed the door so hard, they were afraid that he would act in violence. They passed this on to the threat assessment, and they said, cease and desist. He can't come back into that office. If he does, have him arrested.
So you were concerned for safety of your staff?
My staff, exactly.
One real quick question, because I want to get to the bill, but Jeff Sessions, should there be judicial hearings about him?
I think there will be hearings.
Should he testify?
If he wants to. I think he's willing to answer any question. I think the two intelligence committees have announced they're going to do a thorough investigation on all things related to Russia. That's the way it should be. Get everything on the table, find out what happened or what didn't happen, and take it from there. That's what we have been lacking, frankly, in many ways for the last 8 years.
And I'm doing something that a lot of people do. You brought in a bill on human trafficking. And there are so many issues of the day that people like to wrap their heads around, or that are sensational. And important issues like human trafficking don't get enough attention. So I don't want to do that. Would you please talk about your new legislation?
I do have a new bill. I'm introducing it within days. It'll be called, it will be the 5th bill if I get it enacted into law. And I've already had 4 major laws on combating human trafficking. The first one was back in the year 2000, known as the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. It also includes the reauthorization of the Violence Against Women Act, VAWA, which is an important initiative to help domestically women who are being abused and battered. The hotline was included in it. So that was included in my legislation in the year 2000. What this does, this legislation, establishes the 3 Ps: prevention of trafficking, prosecution of the traffickers, and protection for the victims, which are disproportionately women and children. This legislation is our template throughout the entire country and world, because it applies domestically and internationally, in stopping this horrific rise in modern-day slavery, where women are turned into commodities. They are raped, they are mistreated in labor trafficking. They're forced to do, slave labor type work in factories, and it happens in China all the time. And I've spoken out against that. The new bill will take some of the best practices over the years that we've learned and will codify them. For example, we know that when flight attendants are situation trained, to spot a trafficker while it's happening with young people or with women. Don't take matters into your own hands, but if it doesn't look right, it probably isn't. Tell the pilot when they land and offload, they separate, and you can rescue women as well as prosecute the trafficker.
That's great. We had some people in here about human trafficking, and I was surprised how big of a problem it is
Huge.
in New Jersey.
In New Jersey,
they
exactly.
want it taught in the schools. They
as prevention.
As prevention, I would imagine you would agree with that too.
When a young girl runs away thinking she's getting out of a difficult situation at home, it is out of the frying pan into the fire where these pimps abuse her, get her on drugs. And we've had saves right here in New Jersey where the New Jersey Human Trafficking Task Force, the state police, local police, again, energized to look. Individuals should call the hotline when they see something that doesn't look right. And all of our hotels.
So yes for New Jersey schools.
Absolutely.
Congressman Chris Smith from New Jersey's 4th Congressional District. Sir, I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Jersey Matters continues right after this.